Millionaires invest in some form of real estate. You can start investing today with no money down.
Think it out, thought it. I had to think it before I saw it. Yeah, think it out, thought it. I had to think it before I bought it. Yeah, think it out, thought it. I had to think it before I saw it. Yeah, think it out, thought it. I had to think it before I bought it. Then I bought it. Now we ballin'. Host of real estate, we went all in, made a couple thousand flipping papers. Young boss, shot caller, white collar with no collar, stacking commas beside his mama. Free of drama, being honest, it was time to grind. I had to go overtime, no more working 9 to 5. I had to go 9 to 9, got it on my own grind. He was on his own time, made $1 from a dime, achieving greatness on his mind. His little light had to shine, recruit a team for the grind. No thinking about it, let's go win. Born to win, full of faith like God led me to my sins. Telling for this how you win. Life's a movie, enjoy the plot, don't skip to the end. The journey is your best friend. Boy, you better take the win like chasing Burrow. Destined for a championship, believe in a plan is your land. Had a city like old man, them young boys became young men. Made an impact, ain't counting bands. Think they need their own band. That's how much the music or something. Just how it's feeling when you think it out. This how it's feeling when you think it out. Yeah, how it's feeling when you think it out. You took a different route. Bruce Banner growing pains, your true self breaking out. Sleep wide awake, staking out that paper route. Never chase the check for clout. Now your family know what that's about. Built for good times, but if tough ones come, we know we're hiking about. Been climbing mountains, but still ain't peak. My girl lips the only thing that's sweet. Today's theme. If he can, you can. Keep the tweets.
Yo, what's up, Steppers? Welcome to Steppers Sundays. Welcome to Steppers Sundays. Try to put you guys up in here. Welcome to Steppers Sundays, you beautiful Steppers. First off, with each song that I've created, what I've noticed is that there's a bad theme and there's a good theme with each song. So when you look at the Instagram, at S2 the heart, we post pictures. I'm posting pictures on there of the bad theme and the good theme each week. So this being said, when it comes to Think It Out, the bad theme, if you say, of the song is that, you hear work, 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 but the whole, continuously working and having to overcome challenges and be consistent and persistent, that can also lead to you feeling, like there's a big challenge and like it's overwhelming or things to that nature. But then the good theme of it, and especially when you're dealing with, of the like wholesale real estate, right? So when you're, dealing with wholesale real estate, being where I came from and what I've done, you have these moments where it's a good thing, but at the same time, when you are frustrated and when you are able to do these things, when you become so frustrated, that's what leads to the negative side of the Think It Out. And if you check the Instagram, you'll see what I mean. As far as the red heart is the bad, and then the gold or white heart, that would be the good side. So the good side, when everything pays off, you feel like you were destined to win. You feel like it was like you happy you stuck to the plan, you stuck with the plan. So being able to stick with the plan is a big thing. And guys, we're live on Twitch and on YouTube here. So you know what I'm saying? Twitch is my first time even being over there. And YouTube, what's up, Steppers? So that being said, guys, that's something you can think about. And then when you're getting into wholesale real estate, if it's something that you guys are thinking about getting into, the quick way to really describe it, if you've never heard of it before, is a red piece of paper, right? So it's like you have this red piece of paper, and this red piece of paper you are getting from person A. So there's A, B, and C. So A is selling you, B, you're the B person, selling you this red piece of paper. And you're going to take this same red piece of paper and you want to sell it to C, so the last person. So this being said, you're not doing anything to this red piece of paper. You're not changing the color of it. You're not ripping the piece of paper. But you do have to find somebody who wants a red piece of paper, not somebody who wants a blue piece of paper, a yellow piece of paper, or even a black piece of paper. They have to want a red piece of paper. So that being said, that's the simple way of learning about wholesale real estate. But stick around to the end and I'll give you guys a little bit more detail. But to get back to the song itself, the theme, positive theme of Think It Out is, like I said, when you guys win, when you win and you feel that first win, it's an exciting thing. And not even first, it's when you continuously win because you realize that your plan, you believed in it. And those times when you were frustrated, those times when you were feeling overwhelmed, those times where were maybe even feeling uncertain, you realize that you have faith and that you have faith for the right reason because it was meant to pay off, right? So that's the theme of Think It Out. And like I said, guys, with one beautiful thing with music, and we'll get more into it, but it's like there's this good theme and there's this bad theme, and this perfect balance is what really creates the perfect song, or at least the perfect vibe is more so what I'm trying to say, the perfect vibe of the song, because the vibe is as important of the song itself. And let's talk more about it here in a second, guys. But I want to play something for you. So I want you guys to check out this I want you guys to check this out right here. All right, bet. So this is the instrumental. Check out the instrumental, Think It Out. All right. So the reason why I wanted you guys to actually check out the the actual instrumental is because it's a way different. So this is what I want to get into, right? So this is part of Stepper Sunday. So I'm going to give you guys the actual breakdown of the creative process of creating a song because if you're like me, so we'll get more into this, but I've always been a fan of music, but it's way different when you're actually creating music, like two different things. So this being said, let's get into why I chose the beat, right? So each you'll see what we're doing. So why I chose the beat. So for me, the beats like speak to me. Like when I hear the actual beat, it's like I feel it. So when you guys saw me right there, it's like I feel the actual beat. I feel the music. I hear the music. So me being able to feel and hear the music like that, there's certain songs like within a beat, when a beat comes on within like the first 5, 10 seconds, I know if I want to write to the song or not. Because it's like I actually write, and this is another thing we're gonna talk about. So how I actually write the music is by writing to the beat. So I was watching when I first started music and just first started on this journey, which was like back in June. The first thing I know that there's a transition occurring is because I started learning about something. It's no different with wholesale real estate. I started learning about it, and then it actually happened in my life experience. So it's the same thing that's happening right now with music. So I started learning about it, and the first thing I learned is like you can either write your music to when you have no beat, right? And that's like little freestyles and stuff. But the where we're at right now in society and where the music is at is that there's always nice to have there's this perfect mix. So you want to give them bars, you want to give them content, but you also have to have a bounce to it. You also have to have a rhythm or a melody to it. So that being said, I just decided to start from the beginning to train myself to start writing from actual hearing the music. I rather write from actually hearing the music than to actually write without it. But I like to write without it as well. But that's when I actually work with the producer who can hear the beats, because I hear beats in my head. But I don't do the beats yet, right? I ain't getting that. But anyway, let's get into it. So this being said, why I chose that specific beat for me, guys, when it came on, I just loved when I first heard it. It was like boom, the flutes and like the whole little thing that just I just thought, ooh, I just felt it, right? So me being able to feel it is why I wrote to it. So that just, I mean, there's really no way I can really describe, but any beat that I write to, I actually feel the beat. So, I like that. You actually feel it. And when you feel it, you feel in all the little ticks and the melodies and every little thing that's hitting in through it. All right, that being said, guys, one thing that's interesting about this whole thing is like for me to be able to discover beats, me to be able to discover hiking, and me to be able to start this YouTube channel. All of this came from this little thing called investing in wholesaling real estate, right? So wholesale real estate. So this is why we're here today. This is ultimately how we're here today. Is me being able to start investing in real estate, wholesale real estate, successfully. And consistently. So me being able to do that has led me to be able to discover other hobbies and passions. But music is way more than a hobby. It's more like when I first discovered wholesale real estate. It's like I'm transcending into it, no different than where I was at in life at that specific point. And if you're familiar more with the journey, like learn more about the journey itself, take a look at Steps to Success, season number 1, episode number 4. And you learn about my mindset and where I was at with transitioning into wholesale real estate. That's how I feel about music right now, transitioning into it, learning about it, just becoming absorbed into it. This being said, though, when it comes to wholesale real estate for yourself, the reason why just real estate investing, like wholesale real estate is step one in a real estate investing career. This is why, in the beginning, when I put up, you can start investing today with no money down. It's important to, maybe do that if you are looking into, if you want to start investing in real estate and you don't have any money to start investing in real estate, right? So there's some video that I put up where you have three, there's 4 skills that you need to have, right? So there's 4 skills to possibly have. And if you have one of them, then you're able to be successful in something. But ideally, if you only have one, do you want to find somebody who has the other, right? So when it comes to real estate investing, if you got the hustle and the skill, then you can put those two together to actually get a wholesale deal. But that being said, you don't have the money, right? Because the money is another part of it. So you don't have the money to actually invest in the property to be able to, maybe fix that property up. So say a red piece of paper example I gave you earlier. So this red piece of paper, you don't have the money to actually turn this red piece of paper into a yellow piece of paper, right? So since you don't, you want to find somebody who's looking for a red piece of paper, not a yellow piece of paper, but they're going to pay a different price for the red piece of paper than they'll pay for that yellow piece of paper, right? So imagine instead of you actually just selling that red piece of paper, imagine if you took, let's just say a couple of dollars and turned that red piece of paper into a yellow piece of paper. So now if you bought that red piece of paper at $5 and sold it at $7, just because you want to make a little quick whatchamacallit off of it, instead of doing that, you'll be able to put, let's say, $2 into that red piece of paper and you turn it into a yellow piece of paper. But now you sell this yellow piece of paper for, let's say, $17. So that way your net profit is $10 as opposed to $2. So that's the difference between wholesale real estate. When you're wholesaling real estate, you're putting yourself in a position where, yeah, you don't have to do anything to the actual property, right? But at the same time, you're not maximizing the equity. You're not maximizing what you can get out of the deal itself. And especially when you're going directly to the seller, which is even more important in this time that we're in, being able to go directly to the seller, being able to go directly to the seller is a very important thing because there's so many people who want to maximize their profits. But when you're going directly to the seller, you're finding somebody who's in maybe a distressed situation, or they're maybe they just want to get rid of the property because they have so many properties or they have so much going on in their life, right? But usually it's a distressed situation, and maybe it's because they don't like the property, right? But this being said, either way, when it comes to you as a stepper today, how you can get started is by starting to just pick up the phone and start cold calling. Now, if you'd like to learn more about all of that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and also be sure to check out the real estate or the playlist, how to get your first wholesale deal in 10 days. And also check out the playlist, or actually the ebook, how to get your first wholesale deal. And tune in to Stepper Sundays, guys, because we're mixing it all together right here, as you can see. So that being said, let's think about this, guys. For myself, how did it, if you just look at the channel Steps to Success, and you just look at, the transition from me just starting into real estate and just starting the channel itself, because had started, I was 2 years in, or about a year and a half into full-time real estate investing before I started the channel. So this being said, looking at the channel itself, from where I was at the beginning to where I am at now, it may be like, how did he do that? How did he do that? Why did he do that? I think it's even a bigger reason, like why, because I could have just been completely fine with real estate investing, even though that's just not how my life is set up. I don't know. I just question myself sometimes why not be just fine with that, but it's just like in my heart. Speaking of, can you even see the heart? There it is. In my heart, I just gotta, keep going. And there's this thing that the channel Steps to Success and the social media Steps to Success that we posted, and it was this thing of Nas. And I like looking at them because like I receive them and I just watch them as well. Those things give me inspiration. So that being said, there was this thing of Nas, and Nas was talking about how you got to keep yourself involved. You got to keep yourself interested. If you don't do nothing else, make sure you keep yourself interested. So that being said, being able to keep yourself interested, at least for myself, is being able to continuously evolve in some way, from the standpoint of being able to keep myself interested in this journey, being the journey of life, not just real estate investing. And that's what I've learned, at least within the last couple of months, especially taking music, feeling how I feel about music. It's more about the journey of life. When I first started at 19, just wanting to stop being a car detailer and just dropping out of college and just stop playing football. And you're basically just like at a crossroads in life, right? Football was my whole life at that point. And then, didn't want to live a quote unquote normal life, being able to, go back to school. But at the same time, what else do I do in life, right? So I heard about this thing called real estate investing, wholesale real estate, on a pop culture medium, being Breakfast Club. So this being said, how everything goes full circle to music is that me hearing about that on a pop culture medium, being Breakfast Club. If I don't watch the Breakfast Club, if Mark Winton's not on there, then I'm not hearing about wholesale real estate. And that's what I found out is the most important thing, guys. So often it's your environment that's the most important thing, because you can have good people, good kids, good humans, that are in environments that oftentimes, like a fish, you can only grow to the full size of your environment, right? So if you're in an environment that doesn't expose you to different ways of living, being different ways of, achieving success, whatever success may mean to you, if you don't have an environment that exposes you to these different things, then you're going to be able to only grow to be a guppy. You're not going to be able to grow to be a piranha, or be able to grow to be a bass, or any other big fish. You ain't gonna be a big fish. You may not be a big stepper. You may just be a little stepper, right? Because here's the thing: when it comes to coming out of your environment, there's two different things to that, right? So as I've been on a journey since the last, coming from Cincinnati to going to Arizona to being in Florida, there's two different things that comes to in your environment, right? There's one environment being your physical presence, but then there's the environment of your mental space. So your mental space, being able to, even when you leave the physical environment that you may deem not where you want to be, you have to be able to mentally go to a different place. And this all straps in to think it out as well. So you have to mentally be able to go to a different place. So now once you're physically there, you're not guaranteed to be mentally there. That's no different than anything that happened. Just because you fix something on your outer, it's not guaranteed that you'll be there on the inner. It actually works the opposite, right? So even when you fix it on the outer, you have to come to terms with what's on the inner. So this being said, let's go all the way back to when it comes to music, right? Me, it first started me just wanting to tell people about real estate investing, and because I was like, damn, if I never watched The Breakfast Club, I never would have heard about this. And this is like the most amazing thing ever. It allowed me to do what I wanted to do, which at that time was simply to just be able to live where I wanted to, which at the time was not in Cincinnati, and to also be able to not have my pay depend on where I live at. So be able to, live and work where I want to, basically. So this being said, that was the only thing I wanted. But then once I got that, I wanted to be able to teach people about how I got it. So when me being able to teach people how I got it, that led to steps to success. So then being able to, do steps to success, one thing I've noticed, and much love and appreciation for anybody who's even showed me how to do wholesale real estate from all the other YouTubers out there. But there's a certain cap that this field has, being with real estate investing and being specifically with wholesale real estate. There's a certain cap that real estate wholesaling has as far as the attention span. A lot of people that come to these channels, being real estate, they're coming here because they're seeking information, which is way different than when you're coming to a place like the Breakfast Club, which was to be entertained. So that being said, I wasn't seeking the information of how to start wholesaling real estate because I didn't even know what it was. So that being said, being able to expose people to just even what it is what inspired me to even transition into music, especially when I moved to Florida and I just like clicked me. I saw somebody else doing music. I'm like, dang, if he can, I can. And then I just realized why I should. And why I should is because the number one purpose is to grow Steps to Success, the digital media company, but also leave you guys with something. And I felt like that's the biggest thing, at least with myself. I looked up into my childhood, people that I really looked up to growing up, a lot of them, and when I say looked up to, I'm speaking on from a life perspective, and people that had a bigger role in my life than I gave them when I was younger, right? So it's just specifically, I'm talking about artists and music artists, right? So like 50 Cent being my favorite when I was younger, but then transitioning to Drake in my teen years and all that. So I looked at it and I'm like, Drake is an amazing artist, and I still listen to Drake to this day. Um, but in my teen years, in those years right there specifically, as it transitioned to I listened to Nipsey and all this type of things as I got on my journey of success. But in those teen years right there, I looked at it like, wow, my favorite artist could have left me with something as far as from the standpoint of being able to show me a route how to do it, right? But one thing I did appreciate about Drake as opposed to anybody else is that he showed his life story. He shared his life story and he made that cool as far as sharing your life story and being who you actually are instead of trying to, what I'm saying, do whatever other people do. But what I'm saying, much love to anybody else, whatever works for you. But as far as impacting the world in a positive way, he showed that you can be authentic and impact people in the world in a positive way. So that being said, that's the only thing that's happening right now, right here. That's how we got to music, being able to impact you guys in a positive way by sharing my life story, no different than what's been happening with Steps to Success, just different aspects of my life story, but also this sharing of my life story will be through a pop culture medium that people like myself at 13 or 14 years old, I didn't look into my favorite artists and they were showing, how they got it, which is how they got it was strictly through music and rapping and all that type of stuff, which is something that I never even pictured myself doing, strangely enough. But we're here. But at the same time, being able to um, being able to get it in a practical way is what's been missing. It's from the standpoint of like, my favorite artist is my favorite artist who's very talented. And I'm just speaking on the mindset of anybody who has a favorite artist. You have your favorite artist, they're very talented, but then they also can show you how to, do make a positive impact on the world in a positive way. Your family changes the trajectory of everything just from the standpoint about following their footsteps. So I think that's what's special. I feel that's what's special about S2 and Steps to Success is that you guys are able to look at exactly what's been done. And along with what's been done, you're able to take that and implement it if you so choose. But wholesale real estate is not a cure-all. It's not a well, it's not that at all. It's a challenge. Like that's why I posted that picture to think it out. Like when you guys understand that you're gonna have to persist. It's gonna be a challenge, but just persist. That being said, if you do persist, you'll have your time when you win. You're raising trophies like Jason Burrow, destined for that championship, right? So that's what you really have to realize is that balance and finding that perfect balance. So one last thing, guys, I'm gonna leave you with. I was having a conversation with somebody, and it was a great conversation, and we spoke about how we had how basically life, how life, how life progresses to where you're actually ultimately you have a choice, right, to actually indulge yourself into your life's mission, right, which was your life's inclinations. things that you feel that you were drawn to naturally. You have the choice to actually do that or to not do that, right? So now let me break that down just a little bit more. When you're actually drawn to these inclinations, an inclination is just something that you find yourself doing naturally. Because think about this, guys. You can do so many things in this world. Oh, hold on. Sorry for the Okay, we good. All right, yeah. So think about this real quick. You can do so many things in this world, right? You can do whatever you want, basically. There's so many things to do. Like, literally, think about this. We do so many things, but you naturally choose to do one thing over another. And when you really put that in perspective, that's very powerful. The fact that you naturally choose something, and that's only if you allow yourself to naturally choose it. If you don't allow yourself to be drawn out by society, if you don't allow yourself to be overcome with your fears, right? Because everything you want is on the opposite side of fear. Big shout out to the whole team at Steps to Success uh, for just keeping everything in motion. But those things really touch me because everything you want is really on the other side of fear. So if you don't allow yourself to be drawn out by fear, if you don't allow yourself to be drawn out by others' expectations, if you don't allow yourself to be um, misguided by other um, not inclinations but other urges or basically lack of self discipline, if you can withstand these things, then you're given you birth it with exactly what you need in your life experience. And when you really just put that in perspective, it's very powerful. Only because you have what you need to succeed from birth, but it's over life. So it's basically just about getting back to that, and you have a choice to actually accept that, being with your mission and your soul life mission, and to actually complete that life mission, which where faith comes in, because there's somebody telling you like, hey, this is what you were chosen to do in life, this is what you were supposed to do, right? Go do this. Somebody, nobody really telling you that. If anything, the humans that are telling you that are often wrong because the humans don't know, right? So that's where faith comes in. So when this faith comes in, you're able to have faith that what you are doing is what you're supposed to be doing, even though when nothing really gives you that proof, right? And that's how it works in the beginning, at least. And then you'll get the proof as you progress, but it's all just from being connected with yourself and just trusting your inclinations. For myself, I've always enjoyed music. I've always enjoyed real estate. When I say enjoyed real estate and music, I mean like when I was 2 or 3 years old, I was just singing crazy music, and me and my siblings like just really birthed from the aspect of like indulging in music, studying how people rap and just rapping like them, and just what do they mean by this, and just all type of crazy stuff. So music was always a big part of my life. I never really got captured that I want to do it. And so how I just told you, everything came together full circle. But when it comes to real estate, I always knew that I wanted to own real estate. And I'm talking about from when I was young, from the standpoint of looking out the window. I want that house. I want that house. I want that. I want to own this piece of land. Looking at billboards and being blessed to even travel different places and being able to be like, I want to live here. I want to live that. I want to own these things. So when you actually think about that, guys, that's just my story. But the reason I'm giving you that is because there's something that lays within you that's just as powerful and that's just as clear as it was for me. That being said, you beautiful steppers, I ain't got nothing else to say for you guys except, as always, until next time, get to stepping, get to stepping, get to stepping, and go tell your friends about us. We're here every Sunday, Stepper Sundays, and the music just will keep rolling in. I appreciate you guys again. Much love. Get to stepping. All right.